Hey guys, what's up? My name's Ines. I write kissing books and I am trying to plot out my next epistolary romance while also getting in the walking workouts that I have been sorely missing because it's cold outside. I'm being a baby. It's really not that cold outside, but it's colder than I would like it to be for me to actually take a walk, so that's not happening. So did I turn you off? Hang on. Yep, I did. So I'm gonna walk on my treadmill inside where it's warm, and I'm gonna plot my book. Because typically when I'm plotting, I'm walking. I'm outside, I'm distraction free, and my brain just starts to work. Come on, I need to go a little faster than that. I need to sweat a little bit. Come on. Do you need new batteries? Okay, that's fine. So good evening. Happy Christmas Eve. I'm a heathen. I don't really celebrate anything. Except for a book release. That's more exciting to me. A book release or a journal release. Like I just bought a new journal. Did I need a new journal? That's never a question that you ask a planner babe, which I am. But good evening for those of you that are joining me, and thank you guys for you guys that came this morning and or asking me, are you gonna do the PM sprints too? Thank you. I love that you're anticipating it, because if you guys weren't here, I wouldn't. I'd be sitting on my couch and watching YouTube or reading a book. I'm gonna read a book after this, but instead, and I'd be sitting on my couch, I'd be plotting, but I'd be plotting on the couch instead of plotting and walking. So this is really working for me. It's the second day, but it's really working for me. I will lie to myself because nobody will know that I'm lying to myself, but I'll show up for people. So I show up because you guys are coming, you guys are here, and you're asking me, hey, are you gonna do this? And I say, yes, I said I was gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I have been thinking about my epistolary romance. So this is book 2. I think this is just gonna be my year of duologies. I wrote a duology earlier in the year that continues to do really well. And then the dragon romantasy that I'm writing in the mornings during the AM sprints, that's a planned duology. Same couple. The first duology that I wrote is 2 different couples, but their stories completely overlap and intertwine. The dragon is the same couple, but I wanted to do a hard cliff, because I don't really believe in cliffhangers. I wanted to do a hard and work that out. That book is going really well, but I also wrote the first epistolary book that I wrote in the summer while I was in the south of France, because I'm fancy like that. I wrote it in the south of France, and I've been talking with my new friend David Vergoots, who does scare mail, and I had met him at, I think I met him at Author Nation. I met him at Author Nation, or I met him at the summer book show in London, one of the two, but we got to talking. And I said, I have an idea, and I had an idea, because I had listened to his idea about how he would go outside, he would look at his mailbox, he'd think, oh, nothing good ever comes in the mailbox. And he thought, what if a story came in the mailbox? And that was the idea for his successful business, Scare Mail, where he sends scary letters through the mail. And I thought, well, what if it wasn't scary? What if it was a love letter from another realm? And that's where A Parcel of Stardust was born. A Fey prince lives in a society where you can only rule once you found your fated mate, because the society doesn't believe that you're whole unless you have found your perfect match. And once you found your perfect match, then they think that you're stable enough to rule. And this Fey prince, he feels his fated mate being born, and he looks at, well, he's older, not much older, but he's older, and he senses her. But he looks around his planet, he can't find her. He looks on neighboring planets, he can't find her. He finally finds her in this tiny little blue planet, this underdeveloped little blue planet called Earth. But the only way he can reach her, but it will take, in our time, it would take a half a year to reach him, for him to reach her on Earth. And that's just too long. There's unrest in his realm. He needs to seize the throne, but he won't have 6 months of time. So the fastest way that he sees that he can do this is through, he's enchanted the mailbox. There's enough magic for him to communicate with her through the mailbox. And so he starts to send her letters, and she thinks she's being stalked. It takes a while, but they fall in love through the letters. Well, and that's currently up as a Kickstarter. It's been up for a little while. It's been up for a couple of weeks, and I'm already getting, without even going to my newsletter, I'm already getting backers, followers, and that's really exciting to me. That people are seeing this idea, and they're like, that's cool, and they don't even know me, and they think this idea is cool. So it's Parcel of Stardust. It's on Kickstarter. You can follow it and see how it comes to life. But in Parcel of Stardust, my heroine's best friend, she's in the mix. She's writing letters to my heroine, and she's like, yeah, this guy sounds crazy. This is insane. All the while, spoiler, but you guys are writers, so I think most of my audience here on YouTube and Substack are writers, so spoiler. She also has a fated mate from this realm, from the Fake Prince's realm. And that guy is the prince's rival. It's his cousin and it's his rival. And his family, the rival's family, tried to usurp the throne. Now, the second prince, the rebel prince, he knew also where his fated mate was, and because his family had basically been kicked out, they came to Earth. So he's been on Earth trying to court his fated mate from a young age. She didn't know. So he originally started to talk to her at adults' urging as a pen pal when she was in elementary school, and they were like 10-ish. So it was just like, let's be friends. My favorite color is blue. I like this and that. So that's what I was working on yesterday. And you guys gave me some really good feedback because I knew what his wound was going to be. It's that his family is looked at as traitors. And so this is really good because I'm sitting here walking and talking, and I've already done 7 minutes, and I haven't noticed. So this is good. You guys are helping me stay fit. Thank you. And helping me think through. My brain really just starts to charge when I'm walking. So all around, the accountability, the exercise, the creative juices, this is working for me. Okay, so my hero, his name is Talion, and my heart rate's going up too. His name is Talion. So he doesn't understand what wooing means, but these adults are like, you need to make her like you as the kid. And like I said, his wound is that he's looked at as a traitor. He's been taken away from his home, he's been taken away from his friends, and he's told, you got to make this little girl like you. So that's what the first few letters are going to be, are the pen pal letters between them. So they finagle it so that, I don't know if when you were in school, if you got pen pal letters, I remember I had a pen pal, I think he was from Tunisia. He was from an African country, and I remember the paper was like thin, like rice paper. I never forgot that. And it had a smell to it, like an earthy smell. The things you remember, man. And we wrote for a long time. I can't remember his name though, darn. But, so it's gonna be like that. They're gonna be pen pals, and then they're gonna lose contact because he's still kind of running for his life. And I haven't figured out how he loses contact with her, but I know that that's gonna happen, which is gonna add, and so this is where her wound comes in. So people were saying, well, why don't you give her a sibling that she has to look after and sacrifice? And I didn't want to give her a sibling because I think that would be too much. I wanted to just be her and her dad, and I knew I wanted her mother to have abandoned them. So the mother abandoned them, and so her abandonment issues are going to start young. And the Talion, the hero, he's going to stop writing at some point as well. increasing her abandonment issues, increasing her mistrust of men. So I knew that that was going to happen. It's going to start young. So in the first batch of parcels, it's them being pen pals, and then he stops writing. And it's because he had to run. So I'm working on the second batch today. What's going to happen in the second batch? And this is going to be like, it started when she was in elementary school, and now she's going to be closer to high school age, right? And so during this time, like she's 25, so in like the 2010s, I was like, what social media, because I don't remember, what social media was on and popping in the 2010s? Tumblr. So I'm going to have this Tumblr post where you're starting to get some of her personality. She's a violinist, and I even have, because it's not just letters between the two of them, I put a letter from her teacher in there in the first batch of letters. I'm calling these packages or parcels. So in the first, in Parcel of Stardust, there were 12 weeks or 12 parcels, and I want to mirror it the same way. So the first batch of parcels were all the pen pal letters from when they were young, like 10 years old. And so you get a letter from her teacher to her dad or to her parents, and you get the sense that there's some unrest in the household. And the teacher's kind of like, do you think we should take her to guidance counseling and things like that? And then there's letters between her and her best friend, which is the heroine from the first book. And then there's the pen pal letters. And I need to decide if I'm going to do anything else. Because in Parcel of Stardust, which is the first story, the first letter that you get is a letter from my heroine's cousin basically saying, why haven't you RSVP'd to my wedding? Are you still mad about me stealing your boyfriend and getting ready to marry him? So that's how that starts. And it's just it's letters from her mother saying, you need to RSVP to that wedding because we're not going to let your aunt win. And it's letters from her father saying, sweetie, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Please take all the time you need at my cabin in the woods and just chill out. And then it's letters from her best friend, who was the heroine of the next story, basically saying, girl, I can't believe he did this and you're right, and doing a sisterhood thing. And then there's the letter from the Fae Prince saying, hey, we're mated, so accept the bond and I'll come get you. Very dry, very alpha male, no romance at all. So I say all that to say that it's not just going to be the letters just back and forth between the hero and the heroine, because I need to be able to build out the world. So in the second parcel, which is what I'm working on today, sorry, I'm half a mile. In the second parcel, this is really working, that I'm working on today, I know it's going to be some Tumblr posts in there. I wasn't a Tumblr user, so this is going to be interesting. So I'm really thinking more on what are the emotions that are governing each of these parcels. So the first parcel was all about setting up why you should care about these characters. You're going to start to figure out that he's a bit of a rebel and he has some shame and feels the need to prove himself. For her, I want you to see her like this happy-go-lucky child, not realizing that her world is crumbling around her because her parents are about to get divorced and her mother is about to abandon her. So that's the feeling that I want to evoke in the first batch of letters. In the second batch of letters, I want you to start to see the cracks. You see more of him trying to prove himself to her because he had to leave. And also, I don't think that he's going to say, hey, I was the kid who left. I'm not sure if he should do that. But that wouldn't make sense if he did do it. If he said, hey, I'm Talian, remember? We used to be friends, and that shuts her down because he left. I think that might be the smartest thing. But the emotion is that they're going to be going through is both a sense of loss, because her mother abandoned her. Her pen pal from years ago just kind of left her high and dry. The only person that she really trusts are her father and her best friend. So that's what I need to communicate and I also need to communicate that she is getting excellent at her music, and she will lose herself in her music. And I need to communicate that she doesn't really believe in relationships because she saw her parents' relationship absolutely crumble and end badly with abandonment. 15 minutes, I'm halfway there, guys. So I'm trying to do 30 minutes of this a day. All right, so that being said, I need so I always want to start these letters, at least for the first few, because you would have to read these books in order. You would have to read Parcel of Stardust, which is the first book. And you would know that at the end of Parcel of Stardust, Libby, the character from the second book, and Danica, the heroine from the first book, they're on the outs because you find out at the end of the first book that Talion, the hero from the second book, was trying to get the throne from the hero of the first book. So I want to start every parcel with Liberty writing to Danica, asking her to hear them out. It's not what she thinks it is. Then I want to do the Tumblr post. So it needs to be a Tumblr post, a kind of getting to know kind of character development for Libby. And what you would need to know is that she's like a genius violinist. Maybe you're seeing things, violinist. Maybe you're seeing things like posts about her next performance, reviews or something like that. I think we need to hear from her dad. Of course, we need to hear from Danny. Trying to think what builds out this world, because I'm not going to have the prose of description and setting. It's all going to be through letters. So what else do I need known about the situation? I need it known that her mom is gone. I could have Danica's mom, or I can just have a chat between Danica and Libby about how Danica's mom is always on her, but Libby is like, oh, I wish. What else do I need to know? I mean, I know I need to get to Talion. I need to know about Libby's dating life. Where she doesn't, she's not into relationships. She's always the first. She's not into commitment. She's anti-commitment. And she's very suspicious of men and thinks that they're going to leave. So I need to make sure that I get that out. It's helpful for me to know what I need a scene to do, so that when I sit down to write the scene, I've got these parameters. And my muse likes that. My muse likes to be given boundaries. Because with the boundaries, then I know I can be as creative as I want to be within these boundaries. I can poke at the walls, I can test my limits, but here is the safe zone. And my muse and me as a person really enjoy that. And I feel like that gives me a boundless amount of creativity when I can see the lines. Okay, so that's the people around her. And then we're gonna need Talion. And I think he does need to say, I think, you have like the usernames which will also give clues. Because I can make this really visual in the print book, not necessarily in the ebook, but this is really going to be a print experience. I can give textual clues with what pictures and images that I use on the Tumblr post. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. So much fun to format. Okay. So what do we need to know from Talion? We need him to apologize for his absence. I need him to try to get back into her good graces. But she no longer believes, because he would be telling, when he was younger, he would tell her things like, you know, I'm a fey prince from a realm, and so she believed it, but she's not a little kid anymore, so she's not going to buy that anymore. So she doesn't buy his stories anymore. And so she's going to shut him down. That's what needs to happen in that portion. I'm at 21 minutes. 9 minutes left. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to think ahead, but I am thinking ahead a little bit, because I think that's what all the letters in those packages are going to need to do for me. And then the next time, package number 3, let me just kind of do a broad stroke of what I would need to do for package number 3. Did I say something about it? I don't think that I did. Wait. I started to decorate. Oh, I kind of did. So package number 3 is he's going to try again on a dating app. He's going to try again on a dating app. But he's probably, but when he tries again on the dating app, he knows better. He knows he needs to hide his identity. Okay, so yes, in parcel number 2, he's going to be like, I'm Talon, remember me, and she's going to shut down. So when he comes back again, when she's in college and on the dating app, he's gonna hide his identity. Oh, you guys, this is gonna be so much fun to write this. I can see you saying words over there on YouTube, but the phone is so far away. Hang on, let me see if I can log in. So I can see, woo, what you're saying. Hang on. Snoopy, hang on, let's not get a loop. I see myself. Thank you, Princess. Yes, I do. I have a very serious work ethic. How do I plot so fast and make time for so many projects? Do you have any advice for university students who are working to become writers? I laugh because I technically am a university student. I'm getting my MFA. I think my son's about to come in. I'm getting my MFA because I want to teach at college. All well? Okay. I'm on a live with my friends. But glad it all worked out. Princess, yeah, I am getting my MFA because I want to teach writing at a university. I have a degree in television and screenwriting, but that doesn't translate to novel writing, even though I've written over 100 novels. It's interesting. My point is, and I used to teach screenwriting. So, and I had kids. So what I would do, and this works for me because my strength is, like, I'm not a night owl. After I get off with you guys, I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna lay on the couch and try to stay awake until 9 o'clock at night, and then I'm gonna go to bed. I'm not a night owl, I'm a morning person. So when my kids were young, I would just get up an hour before they had to get up and go to school, and I would write. When we would go to, like, their soccer practices, I would have a notepad with me, and I'd be jotting down notes and writing. You have to I think the first thing to do is you have to gamify yourself. You need to know yourself really well and then figure out where you can sneak in or claim, sneak in is the wrong word, where you can claim back that time. I'm also a very disciplined person. I need to do it every day. I don't write in bursts, but I have a lot of friends who do. They need to sit and think about it or walk around and think about it, and then they'll take like a weekend and then just get like 20,000 words. That is not me. But you see how you need to know yourself? I will write 20,000 words over 2 weeks, but I'm not going to do it in 2 days. That does not feel good to me. So you really need to know yourself. You really need to then gamify yourself. So I like to do a little bit every day because I like to see that progress. So I'm writing 1 chapter a day in that dragon romantasy that I've been getting up at 7 in the morning and writing. I'm looking at my calendar because, of course, I keep the calendar. I started writing that on December the 3rd, and I'm looking at my notes. I wrote 600 words on the first day, 1,500 words on the second day, 1,300 words on the third day. And now, here on December 23rd, I wrote chapter 17, wrote about 1,000 words today. That manuscript is at 25,000, so that took me over 3 weeks to get. But it's a little bit every day. The manuscript that I'm writing at 8 a.m., that is a nonfiction manuscript. And again, I write a little bit of it every single day, but it's a 3-book series about writing beginnings, middles, and ends. I finished the beginnings, I finished the middles today, and now I'm going to write the endings. It'll probably take me about 2 weeks to write that book, again, because I do a little bit every day. That makes sense to me. Some people need to do things in bursts. Some people need accountability. Like, accountability works really well for me. I don't need it, but when it's something where I'm like, I really don't want to get on the treadmill. When I know that I need to show up for people or people are going to come expecting me, that really works for me. So I have gamified myself. Whew. But that's how I do it. How much more time do I have? This is when it starts to get hard. I have, where are we? We're at 26 minutes. I got 3 minutes left. Oh, but that's a really great question. So, Princess, I really would look and figure out where your strengths lie. I love Becca Syme's Strength Finders course, where you take the Clifton Strengths test, and then you determine where your strengths lie. And my number 1 strength is discipline. I can do the same thing every day. I can wear the same clothes. I can eat the same foods, and I'm happy. I like the consistency. The consistency really makes me happy. Am I going to be a speaker for InkersCon 2026? I don't think so. I have not been asked. So I don't think so. They probably already have it done. But I spoke at Inkers for 3 years. They're probably tired of me. They're probably tired of me. Your number 1 is empathy, see? And then you can use that, especially if you're on YouTube, and you go and you look at Becca Syme's, what is she called? Write Better Faster Academy. She talks about if your number 1 strength is something like empathy, how to use that to write better, faster. So figure yourself out and then determine what's going to be best for you. Whew, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go, my friend. If you're on Substack, the phone's a little too far away from me. I'm scared if I reach it, I might fall off this treadmill. Oh, 2 more minutes. But I'm really happy with how much I've plotted. Like I said, this is going to be a 12-part story, and I just figured out part 2, and I already have some ideas for part 3. You saw me speak there the last time it was in person. Yeah, and I've been speaking at Author Nation. Yes, thank you so much. Jess, yours is deliberative, Princess. Oh, I don't really know the strengths, but I would look and see, what does that mean? Because again, Becca she went through all of the strengths, and she tells you if you're number 1 discipline, like a planner is my best friend. Like, I live and die by my planners. But that's good to know too, guys. If you that's good for you to know, Princess, is that going to things like Author Nation and InkersCon and meeting other writers and seeing how they get their work done. Also, like I said, I know that accountability and having to show up for people That's serious for me. 1 minute left. That's really a game changer for me. So again, I'm here on this treadmill sweating because I told you guys that I would be here. I've got less than 60 seconds left. And I will be here, I'll be here tomorrow at 7-ish, doing my one chapter for my dragon romantasy. And then I'll be here in the PM tomorrow. I know it's Christmas Eve, but I don't know if you saw that little shadow go by, but he's not so little, he's a grown man. My kids are in their 20s, so, and he's going to grandma's tomorrow. I have no responsibilities. So I'm gonna be working. My presence has been requested at my cousin's house on Christmas Eve, and I have to make a kale salad. Those are my only responsibilities. So I'll be doing the thing. I'll be writing tomorrow morning at 7-ish. I'll be writing tomorrow late afternoon around this time, working on parcel number 3 and figuring out how my heroine is going to do this through dating apps. I'm over 30 minutes. You guys, I would not be doing this without you. Yes, I'm over 30 minutes. I would not be doing this without you. I'd be on the couch. So you guys are keeping me healthy. You guys are probably saving my life. Woo. Yay. I really appreciate you. Let me just make sure that my Substack friends didn't have any questions for me. I really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me and doing this with me. If you're not walking with me or moving in place, that's cool, but I hope that you're writing with me, or maybe you're plotting with me. And if you have questions about your stories, absolutely, when we're here and we're hanging out, please go forth and ask them. I need to figure out how to see your questions on my laptop, but that's my problem to figure it out. All right, I feel good. I'm gonna go and make my dinner, and then I've earned sitting on the couch because I've been walking for 30 minutes with a freaking weight vest on, and I got my writing done. You guys are awesome. I'm awesome, and I will see you guys tomorrow if you're hanging out.